Hi, I'm Danine Manette. Welcome back to Affair Repair, where we discuss infidelity, discovery, and recovery. We're continuing our talk now with the cheater and helping them rebuild trust in the relationship after the affair has been uncovered. The next segment that I want to discuss with you today is that the cheater has got to not try and dictate the amount of time that it should take for the victim's spouse to get over the affair. They should not decide that it's been long enough, they should be over it, move on, I don't want to talk about it anymore. All of these things are detrimental. This is not helpful. When you are hurt, you usually go to the person who's closest to you and vent to them. Unfortunately, the person who's closest to you in this situation is the one that cheated on you. So therefore, the victim's spouse is going to cry and yell and want to discuss with the cheater over and over again the pain, the anger, the hurt, and all things necessary to help them heal from this affair. What the cheater cannot do is decide that they're going to shut down and not allow the victim spouse to vent and to go through this entire range of emotions. Just because the cheater does not want to discuss these things anymore, just because you, the cheater, don't want to continue answering questions, or you're afraid that if you keep talking about it, it's going to hurt your spouse more, that's not your decision to make. You're the one who brought the outsider into this relationship. You're the one who brought someone else into the marriage. And therefore, you're going to have to dig down and deal with the fact that your victim spouse is still hurt beyond belief, and they're going to continue to want to talk about what happened. They're going to continue to want to ask you questions, and they're going to need an awful lot of assurance and security from you. This is not the time for you to decide that enough is enough, go into your corner, and you don't want to answer any more questions. It is not for you to decide how long someone is going to cry or be in pain over something that you've done. So if you are truly interested in making sure that your spouse is able to rebuild and the relationship and trust you again and get some place of security and comfort during this process, you've got to be there and you've got to be available, and you cannot get angry or irritated, visibly angry and irritated, because they're choosing to ask more questions or sulk or be hurt. And what you also need to understand is that just because one day your spouse is loving and happy and seems to be in a good place, the very next day they could be depressed and angry and upset. In fact, it doesn't even have to be day by day. It can be moment by moment or hour by hour. So don't get confused because your spouse seems to be over it one day and then the next day they're back sulking. That's just the way it is. That's part of infidelity recovery, and that's the grieving process that the spouse goes through after they've been betrayed. So the best thing you can do at this point is continue to be available, continue to be loving, continue to be nurturing, and for the next 20 years, you need to wrap your arms around your spouse and thank them for loving you and for being with you. Because contrary to popular belief, it is very, very difficult to stay with someone who has cheated on you. A lot of people think that when a spouse stays, they're taking the easy way out, and that they obviously want to put their head in the sand and they just want to do what seems to be quick and easy. But that's not the case. It takes a lot to remain in a relationship or in a marriage with someone who has cheated on you. You really rack your mind over and over trying to figure out if this is something that you should really be doing. And it's hard. You really have to dig down and find a place of forgiveness or a place of peace in order to remain with someone who has betrayed you that deeply. So as the cheater, you need to recognize the sacrifice that your spouse has made by staying with you, and constantly let them know that you love them, that you understand, that you're there for them, that you appreciate them wanting to keep the marriage or the family together, and that you recognize what struggle they're going through in order to basically stay in this relationship with you. So you cannot dictate how long it's going to take them. You cannot decide when they should be over anything. That is not your place. It will be over when it's over. And perhaps going to counseling will help facilitate this process, but it is not up to you, the cheater, to make the decision of when a betrayed spouse should be over your affair.